Hello, myself Sunil Ramakrishna. Here, basically, we are discussing about one topic, that is currencies dependency. In currencies dependency, we are talking about one topic, that is global warming and ideas. Basically, in this, basically, we are talking about the solution of the error, that is 12th number. So, previous topic, basically, we saw that basically how basically process group basically checks the stuff basically. In this, basically, one question was there that person basically is getting trouble in India nationally, in India basically. So what should government is going, what is government going to do, what are the public going to do, and what are the rest of international court are going to do, what basically are going to do. They will let allow the particular boy to die, basically what are the things going to happen. So that is actually one question basically. That answer basically I also don't have basically. So like this basically, let basically that question as question basically. If anybody finds the answer, then it's okay. Now here basically the another topic is in visa basically the another parameter basically. In another parameter basically the one of the parameter is few people says that he is basically Hindu. Few people says that he is Muslim. Few people says that he is Christian basically. So according to religion wise basically, that is Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, Isai, there also basically few parameters are basically different designed basically. For example, if you get if you want visa basically in USA basically, then Christian people basically have a high priority basically. So Christian people basically if they applies, then basically they gets visa very faster than the Muslim and Hindu basically. Same way in UAE basically, if you are applying there basically Muslim people gets more priority. Same way in Malaysia basically you are applying, or basically in Singapore you are applying, there basically the Hindu people gets more priority. Or basically it might possible that Muslim people gets more priority. That basically depends upon the city basically, for which city that particular person basically is applied. So like this basically the religion wise also the visa process, one of the parameter basically is of from the one of the parameters basically. So this is also basically one of the parameter of the visa basically. So this is also one of the parameter basically we can say. So in like this basically, this is also one of the parameter basically we can say. So in next parameter basically we are going to see like related to blood cells basically. Blood cells is equal to the education side basically, or basically the other sector side basically. So that also basically connects to the visa process basically. For example, he is having BE degree, so like this basically he is having MA degree, so his visa process will be more faster basically than the normal person basically. If he is BCom then basically his visa process basically will be less basically, but if he is experienced basically, then basically his visa process will be faster basically. If he is experienced, then basically his visa process will be the faster. So like these things basically are calculated of the visa process basically. Like this basically visa process are basically calculated. Then one of the person told that uh, uh, one person basically got divorced. One person basically got divorced, and one person basically uh, one person is single basically. So here basically who is going to get faster visa basically. So this was actually question basically, which creates lots of things basically. For example, one person basically got divorced, and basically if divorce basically happen, then if it's a mutual divorce, then it's okay basically. Otherwise the divorce has created lots of issues basically. Then basically it might possible that girl's family basically might kill that particular boy. That type of things also basically happens basically. That type of things also basically happens. So like this, in this case basically, the divorce case person basically is going to get visa faster than the marriage person basically, unmarried person basically. Reason basically his life basically is in trouble basically, and due to the, and this whole government also basically knows. Government basically also knows basically, and government has issued that basically Nari Shakti, this Shakti, that Shakti. But this also basically things are basically happening basically. This also things basically are happening. So like this basically, in this case basically the government will also basically, mostly government will not support directly basically, because they have told na basically Nari Shakti, this Shakti basically. Otherwise the vote bank will affect basically. So direct, they directly basically don't help the particular boy, but government says that basically it's our rules basically to save the person basically. We are basically doing the seva, and that's our rule basically. We are going to save that particular person. So for that basically they indirectly basically helps the person basically. But few people basically leaks the information also basically, that this political party basically has helped that particular person, and that is going to affect the ladies vote also basically. So like this also basically things happens basically. So like this also basically things are basically there basically. So in next part, this is also basically one of the parameter of the visa process basically. In next video, next visa process is basically, uh, for example, he basically has worked basically in one of the project basically, where basically, for example, the person basically is applying the visa, he is basically a software professional, and he basically worked in the that type of project basically, which is basically converted into the human needs basically, human needs basically. And he basically just become person basically. But one another person basically is mtech person, and he basically have the experience, but he has not worked in that kind of project basically. So in this case basically, the this become person basically is going to get the visa faster. Why? Because that person basically is uh, has contributed in the human needs, demand and supply, and that's basically the huge number of the, in huge number basically in the currency side basically. So here currency basically matters. That time basically the education matters basically, but it matters little bit basically. But here the money basically matters, and education also basically little bit matter basically. So like this basically he is going to get more priority, because his experience is basically more, and that particular mtech person basically don't have experience. So that's why basically that matters basically. So experienced person basically worked with this type of project basically, that matters basically. So like this basically also visa basically are connected basically. Like this also basically the visa process basically are connected. So like this also is the one of the parameter of the visa process basically. So like this, in another point basically the visa comes like this basically. For example, he basically is working in the company, he is having the bcom degree, and he basically got lots of award basically in the project basically, that the lots of awards basically, and lots of stuff basically he has done in the project, and basically he done lots of he basically in short basically got lots of award basically. But another guy basically is working in the mtech basically, he's basically working he's working as a software professional only, but his degree is mtech. So here basically he has not got the award basically. So in this case basically also the bcom person is going to get more priority basically. Reason, he got the award, and that award basically contains into the visa process, and that also up to good level basically. So in next video basically we are going to see a little bit more about the currencies and the currency dependency, and we are talking about the solution of the global warming.